Hi there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Corey, and I have PDD-NOS, also known as atypical autism. I have kept this to myself and my inner circle of friends and family until recently. For a while, I grappled with the idea of going public. Ultimately, I made the decision that my story should be told. I have started a YouTube short series on my channel about my experience with autism. Feel free to go watch the videos. I have found that through my experience, it has really helped me process my thoughts and put things into perspective. I hope that by telling my story, I can encourage others to do the same. And it doesn't have to be on YouTube. You can talk to your friends or family, or maybe even a therapist. I think there's something to being vulnerable and getting your feelings out. You see, autism isn't something we choose to have, but it's something we must live with. What comes easy to most people doesn't come easy to us. Now, typically people with PDD-NOS do better with a good, consistent routine and predictability. And I can somewhat attest to this. If I don't have those two things, a good, solid, consistent routine and a good level of predictability in my life, I can literally feel the stress levels and anxiety go up. And so the last 13 and a half years, I've had the same job that's given me a good solid routine. And my life in general has been relatively predictable. I want to say that PDD-NOS doesn't have to be a silent handicap. Recently, I came to the realization that it makes me unique. And I think it's pretty damn cool being unique. I look at autism as a strength instead of a weakness. Here I am at 38. I have a job, I have a car, I have a roof over my head, and I never let my autism get in the way of my romantic relationships. So earlier I was talking about predictability and I was talking about routine. Well, last year I decided to challenge those two things and challenge my autism a little bit. So I made a trip to Florida with my friend and my father. And some of the things I was worrying about was how I was going to sleep, because the way I get my sleep is really, how do I say this? Rigid. The room I'm sleeping in needs to be dark, it needs to be quiet, it needs to be free of any noise. The littlest thing can give me insomnia, but if I have all the conditions I need, I typically sleep very well. So, I was worried about how I was going to sleep in a new bed, in a new environment, in a new city, and then the unpredictability as far as what are we going to do every day. So I decided to put those things aside and go to Florida and just try to enjoy myself and not worry about those things. And what I learned was I can get outside of my comfort zone. And you know what? At the end of the day, even though the level of predictability goes down, everything's going to be okay. And so that trip to Florida really taught me that I can change my ways. It can be hard to ignore the way autism makes us feel. We have to work harder at certain things that come easier to other people. Our tendency to socially isolate increases the difficulty of establishing meaningful relationships and people we can call friends. We may also have difficulty coping with change, leading us to not take risks or make necessary changes in our life. What I want to say to anyone on the spectrum is this: it's important for you to be surrounded by people who will support you and know where on the autism spectrum you are, to love you unconditionally, enable you to be the most successful version of yourself. You'll be surprised what you can do on the spectrum. What I want to say to you is, don't take shit from people. Stand up for yourself. And don't be ashamed of your autism. You are not alone. There are plenty of others just like you. And I'm a prime example. I've taken this autism condition that I have, and I've been making it a strength instead of a weakness. So I want to give you encouragement to be the very best that you can be. So when I started my YouTube short series on my life with autism, I reached out to one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Timothy Ward. That's the name of his YouTube channel. I would highly recommend that you go check it out. But I let him know that I would be going public about my autism, and this is what he had to say about it.
Hey, the world through my eyes. Glad to hear you're rebranding, getting vulnerable, sharing your story. It's not easy. It's not easy. And you'll always get way more love than hate typically, but you know what I mean? When you're being vulnerable, trying to help people and somebody says something stupid, it kind of, you can feel some type of way. But like I think being vulnerable in general is great. And I know, especially something like autism, being real and vulnerable and honest about it can benefit so many people. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's commendable. I take my hat off to you. That's commendable. That's commendable. And have fun. Good luck.
Tim, I would like to say thank you. It means a lot coming from you. I look up to you as a person. Your story inspired me, and you being vulnerable about your story on your channel inspired me to do the same. So again, I want to say thank you. And one of the things I really appreciate about your channel is it's one of the few places that I can go to and I can count on it being a positive experience. So again, I really appreciate it, and I find value in your YouTube channel. Keep up the great work. I want to conclude this video by saying that my ultimate goal is to help others on the autism spectrum. And I also want to say that I think some of our most meaningful moments in life come when we share our vulnerabilities with other people that we love and care about. Our imperfections are what make us human. I think the word perfection is just an illusion. I mean, yes, you can use it as an ultimate goal to strive for, and there's nothing wrong with that. But us being perfectly imperfect is what makes us beautiful and unique in our own ways. One last thing that I would like to add is I want my channel to be interactive, so feel free to comment on any of my videos. As long as it's coming from a place of respect, I will most likely respond. So until my next video, stay safe, be happy, enjoy life. Anytime that we get to wake up in the morning and do this all over again, it is an absolute gift from God. Peace out.